In this video, I wanted a challenge, so I modified Pokemon Black 2 to make every trainer have level 100 Pokemon, and I was going to beat this modified game. And here is how that run went. We start the game and make our way to Bianca to collect our starter. Starter choice for this run is you pick Tepig if you don't want to grind for an hour. Next we start our fight against a rival and easily lose to an Aqua Tail. Fortunately, winning or losing this fight does not affect us from progressing. Now we head to Route 19 and catch 4 Purloins and a Patrat. While doing this, I make sure to level up Tepig to level 7 to learn Ember. After passing by Floccesy Town, we head to fight the first official trainer of the run. Youngster Terrell has a Patrat at level 100. It has 2 inaccurate moves with Hyper Fang and Slam, and 2 other moves of Mean Look and Baton Pass. In order to beat this fight, I continuously reset until I dodge an attack or Patrat uses Mean Look, and then I would use Ember, hoping for a 10% burn. In Gen 5, burn deals about 1/8 of your HP every turn, so after landing a burn, I was going to have to avoid 2 additional attacks or get lucky with Mean Look in order to finish off Patrat. And after doing just that, I finish off Patrat and gain a large amount of EXP. While we wait for Tepig to level up, you should subscribe and like the video. While leveling up, Tepig learns Smog, a move with a 30% poison chance, and evolves. Fortunately, the second required trainer is much easier, as the AI uses Nasty Plot and Snatch instead of attacking me. This gives me time to use Smog until it is poisoned. Now I switch around until the Purloin eventually faints to poison damage, making sure to feed the EXP to 2 of my own Purloins so they level up and learn Sand Attack. Next I run around Route 20's grass until I find 2 Sunkerns to catch, and in Floccesy Ranch I catch 2 Mareeps for their ability Static. With all my preparations complete, I head to fight my rival. At first, I used the same strategy as waiting for a miss and using Smog to poison, but after a few resets I decided to try and use Sand Attack to drop accuracy to allow for more opportunities for Pignite to use Smog. Eventually I poison Oshawott and switch around and feed the EXP to Sunkern. As on later levels, it learns 2 important moves with Leech Seed at level 13 and Endeavour at level 25. In order to gain access to these moves, I return to Route 20 to find the remaining trainer with a single Patrat. To defeat it, I use Leech Seed, land a Paralysis with Mareep's static ability, and use Sand Attack to drop accuracy, as it eventually faints to damage from Leech Seed. We now head to Floccesy Ranch and fight Alas with a Purloin. We deal with this the way you would expect, lower the accuracy in stall turns with Sleep, and finish off with Leech Seed damage. With this fight, my Sunkern gains enough EXP to level up and learn Endeavour, a move that would make opponents have equal HP to Sunkern when used. Pignite somehow soloed the Sewaddle with a burn with Ember and damage from Flame Charge. Finally, I finish Floccesy Ranch by finding the Team Phasma Grunt, and now I can head back to Floccesy Town to fight the 2 school kids. These 2 are very difficult, as you have to fight them back to back, and they only have moves with 100% accuracy. To fight Pansage, I use Mareep and pray that they activate a static to paralyze, and use Sunkern with Endeavour to lower its HP just low enough that I can finish it off with Pignite. This strategy proves to be unreliable, and I head back to Floccesy Ranch to battle the remaining trainers in Floccesy Ranch by using Paralysis and Leech Seed. With my second Sunkern leveled high enough to learn Endeavour, I'm ready to begin the fight against the 2 school kids. Just before the fight, I make sure to lower the HP of Sunkern on wild Pokemon to make Endeavour more effective. After just a few resets, I land a Paralysis with Static, Outspeed with Liepard, and use Sand Attack. With its accuracy lowered, Pansage misses a Grass Knot on Sunkern, and I land an Endeavour. Lowering Pansage's HP to 3, Paralysis allows Sunkern to finish off Pansage with Giga Drain. But we wasn't done. Now we fight the second trainer. And let me remind you, if we lose here, we have to fight the other trainer all over again. We now proceed to lose to Panpour, as we don't land 2 chances to land a Paralysis with Static. I now fail a few more times until I accidentally go into Sunkern instead of Flappy. I expect to reset, but luckily Sunkern survives a Grass Knot, and with Endeavour and Fake Out, the first trainer was down. Against Panpour, Static activates on a crunch, making it paralyzed. Next I go into Liepard, use Fake Out for a little chip damage, and Outspeed and use Sand Attack twice before fainting. Sunkern gets lucky, landing an Endeavour and a few Giga Drains, and then faints. I now send out Flappy and land continuous Electro Balls until Panpour faints, winning me the battle. Now we are able to challenge the first gym, so I make my way there. I attempt to defeat the gym trainers, but they possess 2 Pokemon each, and after struggling a little, I decide to weaken my Sunkern to low HP to make Endeavour more effective. I once more attempt to battle the gym trainers, landing a Paralysis with a combination of a Lucky Dodge and landing a Thunder Wave. Next, I use Cotton Spore to lower Patrat's speed just low enough that I can outspeed with Sunkern to land an Endeavour and finish it off with Pignite. Lillipup is beat with a Static Paralyze, Sunkern's Endeavour, and a Flame Charge on Pignite. The second gym trainer is dealt with the same way as the first. Both Cheren and the first gym trainer have the same team, so to beat Cheren, I lower Sunkern's HP to low, avoid a Hyper Fang, and land a Thunder Wave and Cotton Spore. Now I do most of the damage with Endeavor. I make sure to use it twice, as the AI will heal with a potion. Now I use Giga Drain as I feint and finish off the trap. With Heat Crash on Pignite, Lillipup is beat by activating Static, landing 6 sand attacks, and using Endeavor and Leech Seed to put it in range of Pignite's Heat Crash. With that done, we've got our first badge on the first try. Next we head to Virbank City, and on our way we beat a Riolu and catch a Venipede, a Pokemon that I will never use, and fight a double battle that I lose to once. But on my second try, they both feint to solar power damage and Heat Crash. After finally arriving at Virbank City, we can immediately challenge the gym. But first, I head to Virbank Complex to catch a Pokemon I will never use. Shortly after, I find Magnemite, a Pokemon that I will actually use. With Magnemite, the second gym is a cakewalk. Pokemon like Grimer and Koffing can't touch Magnemite, and the remaining Venipede can be beat with Heat Crash from Pignite, as long as they are paralyzed. Roxy is about as hard as the gym trainers, with the only difference being her Venipede is evolved, and is harder to KO with Heat Crash. But after a reset, Koffing feints to Explosion, and I finish off Whirlipede with Leech Seed and Heat Crash. With the second badge in hand, we head to the Pokestar Studios to make a movie. Now we fight a Grunt with a single Patrat, a Pokemon we have beaten multiple times before. Next we fight a second Grunt with a threatening team of a single Purrloin, a Pokemon we have already defeated before. With Team Plasma defeated, we head onto the boat and arrive in Castelia City. But first I head to find this NPC to pick up a Quick Claw. Next we arrive in Castelia Sewers, where we fight with our rival, a trainer with level 100 Pokemon. After being carried by our rival, it's finally time for the third gym. Surprisingly, a level 38 Emboar is able to hold its own against these level 100 bug Pokemon, and I KO Sewaddle with a Heat Crash. Against the next required trainer, Emboar continues to wreak havoc on the team, dealing around 90% to Combee with a single Heat Crash. Now I finish off Combee with a Flame Charge to raise my speed high enough that I outspeed Swadloon and KO with 2 Heat Crashes. The final required trainer pops up a little bit more of a fight, having 3 Pokemon, one being a Dwebble, a Pokemon Emboar could not fight well. But with Leech Seed damage, this trainer was beat without issues. Now it's time to fight Berg. He leads with Swadloon and I lead with Emboar. I use Flame Charge to outspeed and finish off with Heat Crash. Berg's next Pokemon is Dwebble, so I send out Magneton with its Sturdy. It's able to consistently paralyze Dwebble. Dwebble chooses Rock Breaker, and during its recharge turn, I'm able to land a Mirror Shot. Because I value consistent paralysis against Leavanny, I switch out Magneton in favour of Mareep. But fortunately I get lucky with 2 fully paralyzed procs and heal Magneton to Sturdy Rain. Now I use Sunkern to land a Leech Seed, it faints, and now I send out Magneton. With Leech Seed recovery and Mirror Shot damage, Dwebble faints. Against Leavanny I land a Thunder Wave to paralyze. Now Emboar outspeeds and I KO Leavanny to gain my third badge. With the third badge down, we are able to progress to Route 4, but first we fight Colress. For my first fight I get very unlucky with Zap Cannon hits. But on my second attempt, I beat Magnemite with Emboar, as it misses its Zap Cannon, and against Kling I land a Thunder Wave and finish it off with Thunder Punch and Confusion. I now head to Nimbasa City, but hold up, what's your favourite phrase? Time's up, the correct answer is subscribe. Next we clear up the old Nimbasa gym using a similar strategy as before of paralysis, then finish them off. At this point, I research Elisa's team and figure out a strategy to beat her. To do this, I would need a ground type. I use Sandile, and a ghost type, I use Yamask. With my new Pokemon acquired, it's time for Elisa's gym. The first gym trainer has an Elekid, a Pokemon with no moves to hit ground types, so they switch out to Flaffy, a Pokemon that can attack ground types. To beat Flaffy, I just get lucky with Emboar to finish it off with Heat Crash, and Elekid can't damage Sandile, so it's an easy win. The second gym trainer's team features 2 Pokemon that can hit ground types. To beat them both, I use Emboar with Paralysis. The third gym trainer is more of the same, and with them defeated, we fight Elisa. Elisa is the easiest gym leader thus far. Her lead, Emolga, has no moves to hit ground types, so she switches to Flaffy. I predict this switch and use Swagger to help damage Flaffy. Then I use Magneton to land a Thunder Wave. Finally, Flaffy is finished off with the combination of Leech Seed and Confusion. Elisa's next Pokemon is Zeb Striker. It only has 1 move that can hit ground types with Thrash, so I switch around between Korokorock and Yamask until it runs out of PP on Thrash. With that done, Elisa has no way to damage ground types, and I finish off the remainder of her team with Korokorock. After acquiring my 4th badge, I catch a Trubbish, a Pokemon that I will never use. Next we head to Route 5, beat a Team Plasma Grunt with a Pokemon we have beat multiple times before, and start our fight against Charles. For the winning strategy, I use Thunder Wave with Magneton, a safe move thanks to Sturdy, then heal with potions until one of Charles' Pokemon misses. This doesn't happen as I get impatient and just use Endeavour on Sunkern to weaken the Archon. Next I heal Magneton while sacking Sunkern and finish off Archon with an Electro Ball. Then I land a Paralysis on his remaining team and finish them off with an Electro Ball. We now progress to the Drift Vale Drawbridge and catch a Ducklett for a flying type against the Ground Gym. We now arrive in Drift Vale City. I pick up some Moo Moo Milks and head to fight Rude. Yamask is immune to all of Herdia's attacks, so after landing a Will-O-Wisp, the AI switches to Swoobat. Next I use Magneton's Thunder Wave, let it faint, and finish off Swoobat with Emboar. Herdia is beat by slowly chipping its HP with Burn and Leech Seed. We now collect the Zorora, another Pokemon that I never use. With all obstacles taken care of, I can now challenge the Ground Gym. The gym trainers are mostly easy as they cannot attack a flying type like Ducklett. Play is a fairly easy fight. I lead with Flappy and attempt to activate Static. It fails and I send in Ampharos and use Revives between the two until Korokorok is paralysed. With it paralysed, I send in Sunkern and use Endeavour to make its HP low enough that Emboar can KO. To beat Sandslash, I use Revives until I land a Paralysis and finish with Sunkern's Giga Drain and Leech Seed. Excadrill cannot touch Ducklett, and with that, the 5th badge is mine. Now we head to the PWT. The game forces all opponents to be level 25 here, despite having level 100 movesets, and I'm not skilled enough to figure out if I can change this, so I just crush the level 25 trainers with Emboar. With the PWT down, we fight an easy Team Plasma fight as they can't damage Magneton, and the 2 double battles are easy as my teammates are level 100. Next I head to Mistralton Cave to catch an Axew, another Pokemon I do not end up using. Nothing noteworthy happens between here and Skylar's gym other than Magneton evolving. After skipping all trainers in Skylar's gym, it's time for Skylar herself. The only problem for this fight is I replaced Electro Ball with Volt Switch, so I can't stay in while attacking with Magnezone. But with a lucky Paralyze, I weaken with Sunkern and finish off with Magnezone. Against Swanna, I Paralyze it and finish with 2 Volt Switches. Skarmory does low damage with Night Slash, so I finish it off easily. After obtaining our 6th badge, we head to find Jupiter. We now fly on the real-life plane to Reversal Mountain. Reversal Mountain is easy as Bianca has level 100s. I use this in combination with full HP recovery after every battle to grind on trainers in Reversal Mountain. After battling most of the trainers, I head to Undella Town to fight my rival. For this battle, I withdraw Yamask from a PC, as the only attack Pheasant could hit it with was Sky Attack, a move that has to charge for 1 turn. I don't really use this strategy as attacking with 2 discharges is much easier. Samurott comes out and I switch in Ampharos to heal up Magnezone to sturdy range. Luckily, Static activates and I'm able to finish off Samurott with Discharge. For Simisage, I land a Paralysis and finish it off with Heat Crash. There are no required trainers in Route 13 and we now fight an easy double battle against Team Plasma. Believe it or not, but there are 0 required trainers between here and the 7th gym. The only trainer of note in the 7th gym is this fight that's a rotation battle. But with the combination of items, Paralysis, and Confusion, we eventually win. Drayden is not very challenging. I use Paralysis to outspeed and chip down Drotagon. I use Paralysis and Hyper Beam's recharge turn to beat Flygon. And with Yamask's ability, I change Haxorus's ability, so I can now use Magnezone to paralyze it. I then abuse Outrage's Confusion to finish off Haxorus with Foul Play, and another badge was down. Team Plasma now uses their flying boat to freeze everything. The grunts I have to fight are all easily soloed by Magnezone as it's reaching a level where it could fight level 100s now. Zinzolan has 2 Cryogonals, both dealing very little damage, but they have Recover, so they are hard to KO with Magnezone, so I switch to Emboar to one-shot them with Head Smash. Weavile is easy and goes down to 2 Discharges. After another easy Team Plasma fight, we head straight to the 8th gym. The gym trainers don't put up much of a fight, so it's time for Marlon. Paracosta feints to 2 discharges. By using items to get into sturdy range, Jellicent causes little issue and feints to a few discharges, and Wailord is another easy Pokemon, falling to 2 discharges. With all 8 gym badges in hand, we head to Route 22 to pick up the device that we need to access Team Plasma's boat. On the boat, we fight some Team Plasma grunts that are very easy and finish with an easy double battle as we are supported by our rival with a team of level 100s. Next, we head to the Great Chasm to finish off Team Plasma. The only noteworthy fight between this and Colress is this double battle that isn't that difficult. Just before we fight Colress, Zinzolan challenges us with the same team he used last time and we easily win. Colress leads with Magneton, it feints to Crocodile using Earthquake, the rest of Colress team cannot deal with Magnezone, and it solos everything, including a Beheeyem that has no usable attacking moves. Magneton crushes all 3 of Team Plasma Shadows with Discharge, and now it's time for a truly fearsome opponent, a level 55 Kiro. This is followed by a fight against Ghetsis. Ghetsis' Cofagrigus is beat with 2 Discharges, and then he sends out Seismitoad. Fearing the ground type move, I switch. Fun fact, Seismitoad does not have any ground type moves at level 100. After figuring this out, I send in Magnezone and defeat Seismitoad with Mirror Shot. Hydreigon can't do much damage to Magnezone, so it's an easy opponent. Electros is outsped with Paralysis, and I slowly chip it down until I finish with Foul Play. Toxicroak and Drapion both do nothing and feint to 2 Discharges. With Team Plasma defeated, it's time to head to the Pokemon League. But first we have to beat Victory Road, and the only noteworthy battle here is the final fight against the rival. Unpheasant is beat by Discharge. Bufalon is also beat by Discharge. Samurott is surprisingly beat yet again by Discharge, and their final Pokemon is beat by, you guessed it, Discharge. I fight Caitlyn first and don't have any problems. Against Chantal, I still have no issues and beat her with Magnezone. You get the point, right? All the Elite Four members are beat without much issue due to my levels being fairly comparable now. And after an easy champion fight, I have beat Pokemon Black 2 when all trainers have level 100s. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe.